this is like the closest that you can get to a Cinderella story. What's going on, guys? Thank you for coming back to our channel. My name is Kalon and this is my beautiful girlfriend Tiara.
Hi guys.
Today's video we're going to be doing a story time on how we met. Pretty much where this all began was July 4th at my house. But more specifically, I was coming home from work and my mom was like, oh, Tiara's coming. So I was like, oh, Tiara's coming, that's cool. So when I found out that she was coming, I was ecstatic. I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't expect her to come. So
what do you mean you didn't expect me to come?
I didn't expect you to come in the sense that I haven't seen you in like 3 years. So when she told me that you was coming, I was surprised. Like, oh, Tiara's coming. Like, it wasn't something that just normally happens. You know, you have like a family get together, something, or like your mom has friends over or whatever, and it's like the typical people that you see, and it's just like, oh, okay. But then it was like, oh, Tiara's coming. I'm like, Tiara's coming. So the first thing that happened when I seen her was, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. Like, I need to approach her. So from that moment, I just took the initiative to go ahead and try to talk to her. Well, when I first came in the house, I waved at her, and then I went upstairs. And then after I went upstairs, because I just came home from work, so I had to change my clothes, and then I was trying to eat, so I just waved. But to her, she thought that I was just being shy, which kind of I wasn't shy, but when you don't know a person, you just don't want to go over there and be all in their face, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, hey, you know what I mean? And then after that, I went over there, and her sister was playing checkers with my sister, or Connect Four or something on the floor. Then my sister had got up, so I seen a chance to go over there and make something do what it do. So, you know, your boy had to slide in there and see what's up.
So he came and sat next to me on the couch or whatever. And then he tried to play the whole like school role, like, oh, are you in school? What are you doing? So like, he started asking me like, you know, where I went to school, what I was majoring in. And that just kind of got the conversation flowing. But then I had asked him like what was he doing, and at the time he was in school for business, right? Mm-hmm. So he was in school for business or whatever. And like the first time we had talked to each other, he wanted to do fashion. So when he said business, I was kind of like, oh, he kind of dubbed the fashion thing. And I was still in fashion because that's what we had talked about last.
Yep.
So after that, we were just making conversation, and then he had asked me himself, and he's like, do you want to go to a party? And so I'm like, I didn't want to like dub him, but like let me just say this. I was in Virginia with my dad, and like I don't live with my dad, I live with my mom, and my mom and my dad are two totally different people. So with my mom, it wouldn't have been a problem for me to go to a party because it's just like whatever. Like, not that she doesn't care, but like I grew up with her, so we have that trust. But like I didn't grow up with my dad, so it was kind of like I didn't know like what he was gonna say or how he was gonna like take it. So I just dubbed it from the jump. I was just like, yeah, my dad's probably gonna say no. Like, you know, maybe we can hang out some other time. And then I guess we were just chilling or whatever. I was just, you know, I don't know, I didn't really know what to think about you at the time. Like, it was just kind of like, you came over, you talked to me, but I didn't really know what your intentions were, so I kind of just kept it, like, subtle. Like, I didn't want to do too much. I was like, you didn't do too much, so I was just like...
Yeah, because like I told you, you don't want to give a person too much. I didn't want to be too, like, aggressive, because a lot of the times when you come so aggressive, it gives off an image that that's how you are as a person, and even if that's not how you are, that's what you perceive to that person, so that's what they think. So, and I know y'all like, dang, why are you making it so deep? It's not really that deep, but like that's how my mind thinks.
The party was over and we had walked outside and we were just saying like our goodbyes to everybody, and then like I don't know, my stepmom, she was just so hyped, like I don't know, we both feel like she just wanted us to like... She
was like, oh, so are you going with KK? Are you guys going, where you guys going, to the beach? Where you heading? So I'm just
like I was just about to get in the car and go home, but she's like, so, you know,
are you hanging out?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, like, we're allowed to hang out? Like, what is this?
I'm like, yeah. I mean, I already, and that's like the ironic part about it.
Because he had already asked me.
That was like the first, like one of the, like the third thing I asked her is, oh, do you want to go out? Like, let's go. Like, I know you don't want to sit in the house all cooped up. So from that point, we went to the beach with my brother and his friends that played on the football team. So
we just like watched fireworks and everything like that, but then it started raining. So this was like our first date, if you will. So it started raining. We like ran to a hotel and we were all like squad deep in a hotel.
It was deep and it was raining. And remind you, let me just let me tell this story in detail real quick. We walked from my grandma's house, my old house, which is, if you live in Virginia Beach, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know where the bridge is, going by Ocean Breeze. It's over there in that area. But we walked all the way to like 17th, 18th Street to see the fireworks. That's like 18 blocks. So remind you, we walked from my house all the way to there. So imagine running back in pouring rain, no jacket, no nothing, all the way back to the house.
Yeah, we did.
That's what happened. It wasn't no.
But it was fun though. It wasn't like,
it was lit.
Oh my God, I'm in the rain.
We all, it was mad people. That's why it was so fun. It was like 12 of us, 14 of us. It was deep. So it was real fun.
Yeah,
and
it
then
was fun.
After that, we went to IHOP.
And like, okay, so I just want you guys to know that I'm not young. Like, I'm not young at all. But I don't know. It's just my dad gave me a curfew, and my curfew was 12. So I had to be home by 12 or whatever. I was already tight, but I was like, I'm glad he let me out of the house. So it's like, I'll take what I can take. But he gave me a 12 o'clock curfew, and I guess we went to IHOP around like 11:30. Like,
we went, yeah, it was like 11:30 going on 12, and I was just, yeah, you were just like, oh, what should I tell him?
I was just like, I didn't know what to do. So we like sat down or whatever, and I'm like, all right, let me just tell him, like, I'm at IHOP, my food did not come yet. Like, by the time I get my food, it's gonna be past 12. Like, you're done. Like,
it's a L. I'm not coming home at 12.
And it was like, I wasn't like roaming the streets. Like, I was eating, so it was kind of like,
on 100, nobody planned to come home at 12.
Yeah, like, I didn't really even want to, but I was just like, I don't usually stay at my dad's house, so I'm like, I guess I have to abide by his rules. 12? So I'm like, but he gave me a 12 o'clock curfew.
Skedaddle.
Like, how you gonna tell me to go out with the boy and then come back at 12? Like,
skedaddle. That's like low key
in whose universe? Like, you know, and like, I was like, honestly though, shut up. Honestly though, I thought he was gonna like dub me because of it. I was like, not because like I had to come home early, but he's probably like, what? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I'm just like one of those, I'm rebellious. My mom used to tell me to come home at like, my mom used to be like, oh, you gotta be home at 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm 16. Yo, I'm walking in the house 3:30.
But that's what I do at my mom's house. Like, at my mom's house, I can come in at whatever time. Like, I'm not saying like I just be partying all night long, but if I decide like to go out at 12 and come home at 3, it's never a problem. Like, the only thing my mom might ask me possibly is like where I'm going, but it's never a big deal.
You know what it is? Me and her aren't those type of people that just party every week. We
never
like
we're homebodies, kind of.
Yeah, so like when we go out, we know how to act. Even when we were younger, it wasn't like we were getting in trouble. We were just hanging out. You know what I mean? Like, you know how it'd be like a party, and then you know, like, oh, those are hot boys over there. These are pretty boys. Those are girls that's chilling, and those are ratchets.
The ratchets.
We was the ones that wasn't the ratchets, and the
I was probably just chilling in the back. Like,
you know what I mean? That's the type of people that we are. We, you know, we swing through. We fly, whatever come through, you know what I mean? Betty say what's up, we say what's up. You know what I mean? Dude try to hop on, then you know I got a Bogart, but you know.
Like I was saying before.
It's lit though, like, that's just how we is, but we not really, I said we is, that's just how we are, but we aren't really, we don't go out the way, you know what I mean? We just stay.
At the end of the day, I was just like, I don't want to say like nobody wants to be with a person like who has to be back at 12. I don't want to say that, but it's just like everybody knows like parties really get hype or even start around 12. So it's just like it's no reason to even bring you out if you gotta be back. You know what I mean?
Because people start pre-gaming around like what, like 11, 10.
Yeah, like it starts late. Yeah. You don't party at 8 o'clock and you know what I mean at night. Like that's just not how that works.
She was like 12. I'm like, it's over. we not.
I mean, I already knew I wasn't gonna make curfew. I knew that, like, in my heart. But I was just like, I gotta find a reason not to make curfew. So it just happened to be we went to IHOP, and I was like,
IHOP was alright though. It was cool.
First of all, we went to IHOP. This young man did not sit next to me. He sat across from me.
No, let me tell y'all. I drove my car. My brother's friend drove his car, and then she was with a group of girls that were there. So they pulled up late. We already went to go get the table. So remind you, it was another girl. Okay. It was one girl. She came and she sat by me. When y'all first came in, she came and she sat by me. And then I don't remember who was sitting on my left. It might have been another girl, but she was sitting in front of me.
He didn't sit by two girls. He really dragged that. You sat by a boy and a girl.
Oh, I sat by my nigga Kyrie. Excuse my language. Kyrie was good. But I sat by Kyrie, and then there was another girl on my right. And then you were sitting across from me. But that's the thing.
So I feel like, before, just to cut you off real quick, I feel like you could have saved the seat for me.
I could have saved a seat for you, yeah, but at the time,
but you didn't.
But at the time, I was just hungry, and I was, nah, I don't think I was, but nah, I was just hungry. So like, I really wasn't just thinking like,
just want y'all to look at my face. Just look at my face.
I know, but you sat across from me.
He knew. He sat across from me, and then like we didn't really have conversation, obviously, because he sat across from me, and you can't yell across the table. You can't be secretive across the table. So it was just kind of like I didn't hang out with him after that.
The waitress was ratchet.
The waitress kept hitting on him the whole time. Like, there were so many men at the table, and he wasn't even sitting like at the end. He was in the middle of the table, and
it's funny,
she was just like, he asked for a drink and he asked for a refill, and then she was like making it a hard time for him to get a refill and like asking him why he wanted that drink. And I'm like, ma'am, just give this young man his drink. Like,
yeah, she really was doing that much. And like, it's all these football players. If you see how small I am, it's just like.
But like I've said before, you attract people to you.
Yeah, I guess.
Anywho, after that we went to a party. Did we?
Oh yeah, after that we went to a party. That's the last thing we did. We went to a party, kickback, and they was drinking, smoking when we walked in. It was lit. It was at my man's crib, and we was probably there for like 30 minutes, and then we pulled the plug. We was just like, yeah, we about to go home. So
yeah, I just went home because because I was already late, and I was just kind of like, it was already a dub.
Yeah. And from that day, the rest is history. We seen each other from that day.
Every single day.
Every single day. And if I haven't seen her, I'll talk to her on the phone all day. Since that day, from July 4th until now, October 22nd, I haven't went a day without talking to her.
And that's actually true. Like, he was really consistent about everything. Like, he didn't like give up even after I wasn't texting back.
Nah, that was the first time.
No, I wasn't texting you back right away, and you would be like, oh, you seen my message, like I know you seen, because I had my red receipts on. Oh
yeah. At first, that's so ironic though, because at first, like, I used to be like, yo, why you not, like, come on, get with it. You know what I mean? Like, get your texting game up. Cause it's like when you want somebody, you gotta make sure they know, like, yo, I'm here. Like, you're mine. Like, you need to get on point. You know what I mean? And I just feel like I had to stretch that. Like, I needed her to know, like, yo, I'm not playing. Like, I'm not here to.
So then I kind of took him more seriously. I was like, yeah, he's been consistent. Yeah. Like,
but
he obviously is showing interest.
Right.
So it's kind of like, and you've been taking me out. Like, I don't think I even paid for anything ever. The
first time she came, she didn't pay for that whole 2-3 months. She didn't pay for nothing.
Summer. I didn't pay for it. And it wasn't that I didn't have my own money. I had my own money.
She had money, but
he just always paid, I guess.
Cash. But remind you, I seen her every day. Let me just show y'all the commitment. She lives 30 minutes away from me. Every day. After work, before work.
I would just be like, I want to see you. And he'd be like, okay. And then he would come, and I'd be like, oh, yeah, shoot.
It was lit. But that's how I kind of knew, like, yeah, she the one. But honestly, we didn't have any intentions on dating at first, because she was going to school in Ohio, and I was I think I just, yeah, I dropped out of school by then. Yeah, I dropped out of school by then. But
he lived in Virginia, I lived in New York, and I was still going to school in Ohio, so it was still a big difference. And I was just like, well, I off rip didn't really do relationships like that. Like, one thing about me is like I'm really cool with boys, and I enjoy, you know, like
company.
Like men as company. You know what I mean? Like they're cool to hang out with, and I'm not gonna use that, oh, girls are catty excuse. Like, it's just like that's just who I vibe with better. So I was okay with being friends, you know what I mean? Like I was okay with, but I also felt like after I left, like it was gonna be no more of, you know what I mean? So I thought it was gonna be like a summer fling. I didn't really think it was gonna be anything of it, because I'm like, after I leave, like we're not gonna text each other, like it's not gonna be what it is. But yo, it was fun for what it was.
Yeah, but that's not what happened. Like I was just like, yo, do you wanna go out with me? And she's like, yeah. But the thing is, it's like, honestly, it was just unexpected. You know what I mean? In the sense, like, we both, when we were 15, her stepmom had a cookout, and she was like, oh, she wanted to go to FIT for school. This when she was 15.
Which is where I go to school.
That's where she goes to school now. And I was 15. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to go to FIT. I already started doing my stuff too. Oh, it's lit. We in there. You know what I mean?
But we both knew, like, okay, from off rip, that we both had a passion for fashion.
Right.
And we both knew that we wanted to be in New York City, which is ironic because we still do have that passion for fashion, and now we're both in New York City. And
that's really how it came about, was because like when you started, yo, first when I told her about my clothing line, she dubbed me.
Nah, I didn't dub him. I said I have to see it first. Y'all know when someone asks you to model for stuff and you be like, it's already skeptical because you're like, I have to see your work. You're not about to have me out here in the middle of the street like naked and like
a bowl of milk, no cereal.
Right, like, and like you about to make this art. Like, no, we're not about to do that. So I'm like, you a model for your clothing. Let me see your clothing, because like if it was something that I wasn't interested in, I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm never gonna promote something that that I don't like in the first place. Like that's terrible promotion. Like
she low-key dubbed it, but I like as we started going along and she really started seeing my drive and like my vision, and I seen her vision, it kind of went from here, our two own paths, to here.
Yeah, and it's kind of like I put the things that I know and like the things that I work on and I'm talented with, like I help him on that side with his clothing line. So it's kind of like I get.
Yeah, because honestly, like if I didn't meet her, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I don't think I would. It would, yeah. Just for the simple fact that we wouldn't have met. You know what I mean? And this path would have never opened up for us, and I'm so glad that it did, because now we get to be on camera with you guys all the time and share our experience.
I don't know, just hanging on between the 7 months and just really like doing the whole long distance kind of like prepared us for where we are right now. I think we're both kind of like okay with our story, like how it happened. And
oh yeah, definitely. So because it came as a surprise, and I was done. Like after my last relationship, yo, when I tell you I was finito, I was on some straight, yo,
and the crazy part is like when he met me, like he would tell me mad stories about like his past, and I would just be like,
100 stuff though. You would expect me to be done though, right?
No, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, to move on, it was just kind of like I didn't know, like, were you even ready? Like, did you want to? And that's why I was like, like I was kind of like.
But that's the thing, and that's why it was so unexpected, because whole time I'm over here complaining to her, because when low-key we were best friends before we started dating. This was like talk to her about any and everything. So I'm complaining to her, not realizing that she's the one, and that's why I'm like, oh, I'm tweaking. And that's when I'm like, yo, I asked her, I'm like, yo, you want to be with me? And then as you seen, yo, honestly, if we were two different people than we are now, it would never have worked. But it's the fact that we sat on the phone with each other every night, 24/7.
Yeah, like literally, like the very first time he was just like, we were on the phone and he's like, okay, so I guess I'll talk to you tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, like, see you later. And he's like, oh, so you're not gonna stay on the phone with me? And I was like, oh, like I'm supposed to stay on the phone with you? Like I never did it before, so I'm just like, I'm like, wait, so like, are we going to sleep?
You know, I had to finesse that.
So then after that, we just slept on the phone like every night and like
for 7 months. Thank God that our stuff was unlimited, because
yeah, every night, even if it was like FaceTime, whatever. It was like we called each other every night.
No, you know what? Bump that. We stayed on FaceTime every night. You know why? Because my phone wasn't on for a year. We're not gonna get into that, but my phone was not on for a year. So my phone wasn't on for a year.
But like we made it work. That's what was crazy.
I'm telling
like,
you. Like
his phone was not on, but like I still got in contact with him.
We made it. I fell asleep on the phone, all that.
I would literally talk to him throughout my class, like.
And that's the crazy thing. Like FaceTime was. I just thank God for Wi-Fi. Honestly, like that was the best technology created up to date.
But now his phone is on.
It's lit. You know, y'all can give me a ring or whatever. Yo, look at my case.
Nobody's giving him a ring but me.
It's lit.
But we're okay with our story. I feel like we came a long way. We built like trust. We built foundation. And I don't know. I guess are you comfortable in this relationship?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
I'm comfortable in this relationship.
Well, I ain't too comfortable, but I'm comfortable. You know what I mean?
No, I mean like I don't.
Never really.
I trust you.
I trust you too, baby. With all my heart. This is like the closest that you can get to a Cinderella story. Just being the fact that, like, both of us, we both came out of a rough time when we met. Like, she was going through a lot of stuff, and then as soon as she came out, that's when she met me. And then when she met me, that was probably like the hardest time of my life. So it was just like crazy how we balanced that, and still throughout everything that was going on, man, it's
But I just want to put this little rant in real quick. Like, before I met my boyfriend, I was
say daddy.
I was going through like a tough time, and like I had just like I like just wished, like I was just like, yo, I just need someone like that I'm cool with. I just need good company. Like I need good vibes. Like I just want a nice summer, and like that's exactly what it was for me. So I don't know. I don't know. The way that I wanted it to happen, it happened for me. So after that, I don't know, my life just kind of took a little spin or whatever.
Mine took a sudden turn. Like the crazy thing about it is like I knew I wanted to move to, let's just put this out there. We both wanted to move to LA. But the first thing that we wanted to do is move to New York. So my thing was I was gonna go from Virginia straight to LA to do my brand. That was my plan. Well, that's still my plan. But when I met her, that whole New York thing got thrown back into the equation, and that's why I was like, wow, like dang, I'm really living in New York now, because it's like at one time that's what I planned. You know, I was gonna skip that step, but it's like, wow, like if I can, why not? You know what I mean? And that's why I was like, wow, like God's good. Like as long as you put it in the air, put it in the atmosphere, and you seriously mean it, somehow, some way it'll come about. You know what I mean? Just you gotta have faith. But
that was our inspiration for today. So yeah. I hope you guys, you know, take something out of that. But
please take something.
Always speak things into existence. Speak things into nutrition, because you never know.
You never know what's gonna happen.
You never know what will happen.
You know what I mean? You never know who you're gonna meet, and that's the thing. Try to stay, when you meet somebody, don't go off of what other people tell you. Stay level-headed, because just because they have a perception of how that person is doesn't mean that that's the right perception, and that doesn't mean that that's how they'll act towards you, because everybody acts different towards people. I'm just throwing that out there. But with that being said, we just thank you guys so much for tuning into our video today.
If you like this video, give this video a big thumbs up, and thank you guys so much for watching. Follow us on our social media, they'll be linked below, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.